Tesla has long been the star of the electric vehicle world. For more than a decade, it has dominated headlines, captured investor imagination, and set the standard for what an EV could be. The spotlight has followed Elon Musk everywhere as he turned Tesla from a struggling startup into the face of the clean energy revolution. But while the world's attention has been locked on Tesla's show, another story is quietly emerging. This story is not built on spectacle or futuristic theatrics. It is built on focus, simplicity, and a long-term plan. That story belongs to Slate Auto, a new company quietly supported by Jeff Bezos, one of the most disciplined business minds of our era. To understand why Slate matters, we first need to understand Tesla's rise. In the 2010s, Tesla did what many thought was impossible. It created stylish electric cars with real range, built its own battery technology, and launched a charging network that made long-distance EV travel practical. Tesla also reinvented the car business itself. It sold directly to customers, avoided traditional dealerships, and turned its cars into rolling computers. For years, Tesla had no real competition. By 2021, it owned nearly 80% of the US EV market. Its margins were the envy of the industry, sometimes reaching 30% per vehicle. Investors rewarded that dominance with sky-high valuations. Tesla became not just a car company, but a cultural symbol. But markets evolve. By 2024, Tesla's US market share had dropped below 50%. Competitors like Ford, Hyundai, Rivian, and especially BYD from China stepped in. In fact, BYD outsold Tesla in global EV sales in 2023. Meanwhile, Tesla had to cut prices again and again just to keep volume steady. Those once legendary profit margins fell closer to 17%. Rising interest rates and cautious consumers added to the challenge. Suddenly, Tesla no longer looked untouchable. Tesla still excels at building premium, mid to high-end EVs and using software as a moat, but it has never gone all in on small, affordable, truly practical vehicles. And this is exactly the space Slate Auto wants to own. Slate Auto entered the stage with one product, the Blank Slate Truck. Unlike Tesla's futuristic Cybertruck, the Blank Slate is modest and approachable. It is compact, modular, and intentionally simple. The design philosophy can be summed up in one phrase: less, but better. The truck comes in one body style, one standard color, and two battery options. That's it. Instead of oversized touchscreens, it has a rugged mount where you can clip your own phone. Instead of luxury interiors, it uses steel wheels and even manual windows. Far from being a weakness, this simplicity is its strategy. Every feature removed lowers costs, reduces risks, and makes the truck easier to build and repair. The pricing target is around $25,000, and with incentives, some buyers could bring that down under $20,000. In a world where most EV trucks cost 2 or even 3 times as much, that price point is a breakthrough. The range is sensible: 150 miles with the smaller battery, 240 with the larger one. Payload capacity is 1,400 pounds, and towing is about 1,000 pounds. Plenty for city workers, small businesses, or families who simply need a reliable utility vehicle. But the real innovation lies in kits. The Blank Slate can transform. With the right kit, it becomes a 5-seat SUV. With another, an off-road adventure truck. With another, a contractor's workhorse. It is essentially the Lego set of trucks. Buy once, then adapt as your needs change. This modularity is radical in the auto industry and could turn first-time buyers into lifelong Slate customers. No story of Slate is complete without the Bezos factor. In mid-2025, Slate secured about $700 million in funding, with backing tied to Jeff Bezos. For a young EV maker, that is not just money, it is credibility. Suppliers pay attention when they see Bezos involved. Talented engineers are more willing to join. Investors feel reassured that this company is built for the long game. Bezos' influence can be seen in 3 areas. First, customer obsession. Amazon conquered retail by treating convenience as a religion. Slate applies that same principle, but its focus is utility and affordability. Second, operational discipline. Amazon grew by simplifying product categories, mastering logistics, and letting efficiency compound. Slate copies that playbook with one body, one color, and 2 batteries. Third, option value. even without Amazon's direct involvement, the possibility of future synergies with AWS data, with Amazon fleets, or with logistics partnerships adds enormous potential. Beyond the money, Bezos sends a signal to the market. This company is serious, it is patient, it is disciplined. In an industry where most startups collapse under pressure, that kind of reputation is a shield. At first glance, the blank slate might look too simple, but in many ways, that simplicity is its greatest strength. The average new car in America now costs nearly $48,000. Many EVs cost even more. Rivian's R1T starts above $70,000. These vehicles are overloaded with massive screens, endless sensors, and luxury features. But tradespeople, students, city crews, and delivery services do not need all that. They need something reliable, affordable, and easy to maintain. Slate's design philosophy is about removing bloat. Manual windows mean fewer chips to source. One paint color means faster, cheaper production. A design that stays consistent for years means accessories and training get more valuable over time. These choices may sound small, but they bend the cost curve in Slate's favor. History shows this strategy works. Toyota's Hilux became a global workhorse because it was simple and tough. Ford's Transit van dominated fleets because it was adaptable. Even the failed Tata Nano proved a point. Simplicity works when it is positioned as the right tool, not just the cheapest option. Slate understands this difference. Its brand is not about being cheap, it is about being useful. Another key to Slate's approach is how it builds. Instead of sinking billions into a brand new plant, Slate is retooling an existing factory in Indiana. Its headquarters are in Michigan, close to Detroit's rich pool of auto talent. A design studio on the coast adds creative flair. The strategy is not about building the biggest factory, it is about building the fastest learning loop. Every EV startup discovers that prototypes are easy, but stable manufacturing is hard. By focusing on a single body, 2 batteries, and a very short list of trims, Slate reduces points of failure. That means fewer problems, faster fixes, and more predictable scaling. In other words, Slate is trying to learn faster, not just grow faster. Slate's go-to-market wedge has 3 blades. First, price. A truck people can actually afford without a crushing loan. Second, purpose. Slate tells buyers, we built the tool, you make it yours. Third, kits. These kits are not just accessories, they are a business model. Accessories typically carry higher margins than the vehicles themselves. They bring customers back again and again. They fuel communities of users who share tutorials, reviews, and custom builds. For fleets, the kits are especially powerful. One base vehicle can be adapted for multiple departments, reducing complexity and lowering costs. Early reports suggest that Slate already has more than 100,000 reservations. Even discounting for hype, the demand is real. People want affordability and flexibility together, and no one else in the EV space is delivering it. The most important point is that this is not Tesla's fight. Tesla has always thrived in the premium lane. Products that combine performance, design, and cutting-edge software. The buyer's Slate is chasing care less about self-driving software or giant touchscreens. They care about uptime, cost, and reliability. For Tesla to compete in this space, it would need to strip down its vehicles, cut margins, and risk its premium brand image. That is a move Tesla is unlikely to make. Slate's focus creates a natural moat. Tesla cannot copy Slate without changing its identity. None of this means Slate's path will be easy. Building vehicles is one of the most expensive businesses in the world. Even with $700 million raised, Slate will need to spend heavily on testing, tooling, certifications, and warranties. Policy changes could help or hurt depending on government incentives. And there is always the cultural factor. Many American buyers still prefer oversized trucks. Betting against that trend carries risk. Another risk is distraction. Hype and viral demand can push startups to add unnecessary features, chasing excitement instead of discipline. Slate's survival depends on resisting that temptation. If it stays focused on utility and affordability, it has a shot. If it drifts, it risks joining the long list of failed EV startups. So how exactly could Slate win? There are 3 clear paths. The first is fleet adoption. If city services, schools, and delivery companies adopt the Blank Slate Truck in large numbers, it proves the product's value and reliability. The second is the minimalist consumer wave. For buyers tired of bloated, overpriced cars, Slate becomes a statement of practicality and independence. The third is the grind. Slow, patient scaling that avoids the boom and bust cycle that has destroyed so many EV hopefuls. The thread connecting all three paths is patience. Small wins compound. Over time, those wins add up. And looming over this story is the metagame between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. We have already seen their rivalry in space. SpaceX versus Blue Origin. Musk thrives on spectacle, speed, and charisma. Bezos believes in patience, systems, and discipline. Now the duel shifts to the EV industry. Tesla created the aspirational EV brand. Slate, backed by Bezos, wants to create the practical, modular EV brand. If Tesla is the luxury showroom, Slate wants to be the hardware aisle. Interestingly, Slate is an anagram of Tesla. Maybe just coincidence. Maybe a deliberate wink. Slate Auto does not need to outsell Tesla to succeed. Its mission is narrower, but no less ambitious: to own the compact, affordable utility segment. If Slate succeeds, Tesla would be forced to copy its model, and in doing so, the EV story would change forever. This is not about flashy cars or oversized trucks. It is about building an electric vehicle that fits real life, at a price people can afford. Slate's message is simple: less bloat, more value. Backed by Bezos' discipline and serious funding, Slate is starting with one truck, one platform, and infinite possibilities through kits. Focus is its superpower. If it sticks to that focus, the question for the industry will no longer be who has the biggest battery. It will be who built the EV that truly works for everyone. That is the question Slate wants to own. And if it delivers, the headlines won't say Tesla lost. They will say that electric vehicles finally make sense for all of us.